It's estimated that over 3.7 million videos are uploaded to YouTube every single day. And when you do the math, that's about 2,500 videos every single minute. And I'm more than happy to be one of those creators who are helping contribute to that statistic. Hey, my name is Neil. Welcome back to my garage. And today we're going to be talking about my camera setup and how I got started in DIY. Before we get started with the equipment I use, for some context, I started creating DIY content in my garage almost 2 years ago, back in July of 2021. When I first started, I had no clue what I was doing, and 2 years later, I still have no clue what I'm doing, but I continue to upload anyway. Now, one of the biggest things I noticed whenever I was starting to research creating a DIY channel or a YouTube channel that had to do with DIY stuff is that a lot of the content that I saw were for people who were mostly inside their homes behind $300 or $400 worth of lighting, and they had a really nice setup already laid out. I knew that I'd be working in my garage and I had no clue what equipment I needed in order to do that. So I used the bare minimum of what I had, and at the time all I had was the GOAT, the iPhone 8. Now don't laugh, this phone got me through the first 18 months of my content creation. I used it for everything. Why? Because I had nothing else. Now looking back, I probably could have upgraded this thing sooner, but this iPhone 8 was a lifesaver because I was trying to learn how to do so many other things like build, film, edit. The last thing I wanted to do was learn how to use a new tool in order to start that. So if all you have is an old iPhone 7, 8, Android, it doesn't matter. If you use what you have, you could at least experiment and see if you like creating content before you go out and buy a $2,000, $3,000 camera. And now that I had my recording device, I knew that I also needed to match my audio. So I'd never used a microphone before, so it took me hours and hours of researching which microphone I should use. I ended up going with the Saramonic Blink 500 as my first choice because it was cheap and it seemed very reliable. And a lot of the reviews had positive ratings, so I decided to go with that. Now it's been okay for me so far. I could probably tweak it a little bit more because I do find that I get a little bit of noise in post-production that I also have to tune down, but it's been solid. Okay, what makes filming in your garage different than filming in a nicely lit room? At least for me, my garage is dark, it's cold, it's hot, it's old, and it's not easy to shoot in here. One of the big challenges that I have is that there's not a lot of lighting in the garage, and I can't really add more lighting. I swear, if I do, I'm not gonna be able to run any power tools. So I have to make that decision constantly. Do I run 4 lights or do I run 1 power tool? All joking aside, a garage is probably not the best lit place. You can try opening the door, but if you're building later in the evening or if the sun is not out, that may be a problem. Okay, so now that I had audio and video, the last thing I needed was a tripod. I tried to film without a tripod at first, but that went terribly. Trust me, it's not something you want to do. Go out and get a tripod. I just ran to Walmart and picked up a tripod for I think $30, and I've been rolling with that thing ever since. It's been really solid, so much so I just picked up another one of the same kind. There's absolutely no reason for me to go with a more expensive tripod because I'm not doing any professional work. I'm just in my garage, and these things are great because you end up dropping them, hitting them, and if you know you didn't spend a lot of money on them, then you don't really have to worry about them. Everything that you buy is just another tool, so you want to be able to take care of it, but also understand that you're probably going to break it at some point. So now that I had my phone, my wireless mic, and my tripod, it was time to shoot my first video. I really wish if I could go back that I would have invested in something like a ring light, but I just didn't know about them at the time, so I continued forward with what I had. It was my impression that the lighting that I had was good enough, but I found out during my first couple of videos that my lighting was terrible. Still, I pushed on. So if you're still watching this, please go ahead and get a ring light. If your garage is not very well lit, it will save you so much time in post-editing. So after 18 months with the little money that I saved, I decided that it was time to get a new recording device. My iPhone 8 had done well, but I needed to up my game if I wanted to get to the next level. And so I decided to get an iPhone 13 mini. I went back and forth between the iPhone 13 mini and the iPhone 14 Pro, and I just couldn't justify the cost for the 14 Pro. So I went to the 13 mini because so many other creators recommended that that's the one that they were using. And let me tell you, this is amazing. It is able to get all of what you need for short form content especially, and long form content as well. So if I had to pick one device, it would be this. But then I quickly ran into a dilemma. How do I shoot short form content and long form content at the same time? How do I make a TikTok and a YouTube video in the same go? When you're cutting lumber and wood, you don't have that much time to recut, or you may not be doing something twice, so you really only have that one shot to get it. So I decided to pair the iPhone 13 mini so that I can shoot short form content at the same time as I shoot my long form content. So I picked up the Canon EOS R10 during Black Friday. The reason I went with the Canon R10 is because it was recommended by a lot of creators, especially on Think Media. I believe they had a video about it as one of the best cameras for content creators, so I decided to try it out. And let me tell you, this has been one of the most frustrating devices I've ever had to use. As a millennial, I'm not at all a stranger to technology, but I have problems with this thing every single time I use it. The first problem is I don't know anything about shooting with cameras. I never used a DSLR before, so this has been a learning experience for me for the last 6 months. Probably the second biggest thing about this is the battery life is very, very short. So if you're in the middle of a talking head video, or if you're going to be gluing something up or cutting something for over 20-25 minutes, I probably get about 45 minutes out of this battery total. So if I forget that I'm going to be doing something for like 25 minutes and I've already shot throughout the day, when I come back to it, it's dead. To my knowledge, there is no audible noise that it makes to let you know that it's dying. So there's been quite a few times where I've been making something and then I get back inside only to find out that my camera died midway through. Now, this doesn't mean that this is a bad camera at all. It just means that I personally do not know how to use it. I struggle every single time. I think I've gotten better, but it's really helped that I watch a lot more videos on it and try to change the settings to match. So I've had this since December and right now it's June and I'm still trying to learn how to use it. In all honesty, when in doubt, I just grab the iPhone 13 mini and I shoot with that and I have almost no issues. And then recently here in the last month or so, I've picked up a ring light, which has really helped get my close-in shots, and it's also helped with the lighting in here. Like I said, I can't really add more light here without worrying about blowing out a circuit, so this ring light has been a great portable light that I can use in order to shoot video. Okay, so now I wanted to show you what my setup looks like so that you could see. So here, this is how I shoot either my short form content or my long form content. I use this tripod, like I said, I got it from Walmart, and I use this ball head mount, I think it's called. And this thing, ever since I learned what it was, has been a lifesaver. So if you could see here, what it allows you is more degrees of freedom. So if you need to tilt ever so slightly, if you're uneven, you can go ahead and do that. What I have been doing for the longest time is adjusting the legs on my tripod in order to get it level. That took forever. And the longer it takes to get those level, the longer you're in the garage for absolutely no reason. So now that I have this ball head mount, I'm able to turn it in order to get the level shot that I need. It has saved me so much time. And then I have this phone holder that came with the tripod. And then also here, you could see the phone. So this is my setup. This is how I shoot almost every shot. And so far it's working for me. Now, obviously in the future, I would like to upgrade, but for now, I'm just gonna leave it with how I have it. All right, guys, so that's my setup. I just want to share it with you. Like I said, there wasn't a lot that I could find when I was looking, so I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what I use to run my channel. Let me know down in the comments ways I can improve my setup, or if you want to share what your setup is like, I'd be more than happy to read about that. Also, let me know if you like this type of content. We could do more about this. I can show you what it's like to source materials, the editing process, and how I go through my workflow. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.